Congratulations. You are the NBA Kia MVP.
The MVP isn't an award for the league's best player, but for the best player on one of the best teams in the league. It's basically more like a team effort. But while most MVP winners were deserving of their awards, there are actually players who were undeserving. Joel Embiid in 2023. Joel Embiid was one of the top centers in the league when he was constantly finishing second behind Nikola Jokic for the MVP award. He lost in 2021 and 2022, with Jokic winning both those years. Of course, the Joker deserved those awards because he was putting up incredible numbers on one of the best teams in the West. Meanwhile, Embiid was also putting up great stats on a Philadelphia 76ers team that wanted to compete for a title. But instead of focusing on winning games and taking his game to the next level during the playoffs, Embiid cried about not winning the MVP. So, during the 2022-23 season, Jokic and Embiid battled it out for the MVP once more. This time, it made sense because Embiid was averaging 33 points for a center, which is rare for a big man these days. But Jokic made the race close because he was basically averaging a triple-double. However, the media got into this debate, especially with Embiid complaining about not winning the award. Kendrick Perkins even turned it into a racial issue. In the end, Embiid got what he wanted.
Congratulations. You are the 2023 Kia NBA MVP.
He won the 2023 MVP over Jokic, who should have won his third straight MVP trophy. But the playoffs proved who was the real MVP. Embiid got kicked out of the postseason in the second round while his scoring dipped by almost 10 points. Meanwhile, Jokic and the Denver Nuggets won the 2023 NBA championship. Steve Nash in 2005 and 2006. Steve Nash was everyone's favorite point guard during the 2000s because he was the maestro of the most exciting team in the entire NBA. The Phoenix Suns were running and gunning with their offense during an era where defense won championships. And Nash was the guy orchestrating that high-powered offense with his incredible passing and efficient shooting. No one even thought he was MVP level until he went to the Suns. In 2005, he surprised everyone when he transformed from being a borderline all-star with the Dallas Mavericks to a true superstar with the Suns. He turned that team around from winning 29 games in 2004 to winning 62 games in 2005. Nash went on to win the MVP because of how he transformed Phoenix into a winning team while averaging 15.5 points and 11.5 assists. But Shaquille O'Neal wasn't too happy about that because he was putting up 23 points and 10 rebounds on a 59-win Miami Heat team. The voting was close, with Shaq losing by 7 first-place votes. Up to this day, he still feels salty about the MVP going to Nash that season. It got worse the next season because a lot of other players stepped up their game and were averaging MVP numbers on playoff teams. Interestingly, though, the media couldn't stop talking about Nash and how he was leading the Phoenix Suns to a good record while their best scorer, Amari Stoudemire, was out with an injury. The Suns won 54 games that season, but everyone still thought Nash deserved the MVP.
2005-2006 NBA Most Valuable Player.
Yes, he won the MVP over LeBron James, who averaged 31.4 points, 7 rebounds, and 6.6 assists on a 50-win Cleveland team with no other star. Even Dirk Nowitzki averaged 26.6 points and 9 rebounds on a 60-win team. And everyone's favorite to win the award, Kobe Bryant, averaged 35.4 points as the sole bright spot on a 45-win Lakers team. Kobe scored 81 freaking points in one game that season, only for the MVP to go to Nash, who averaged 18.8 points and 10.5 assists. To this day, fans still wonder how and why Nash won the award over those other great superstars. Bill Russell in 1962. He is still the greatest defensive player and winner in the history of the NBA, transforming the 1960s Boston Celtics team into a defensive powerhouse that dominated the entire decade. But there were also dominant players during that era, and many wonder why Russell won the MVP in 1962. Well, Russell more than deserved the 4 other MVP trophies he won, but that 1962 season saw multiple players putting up incredible numbers. Oscar Robertson averaged a 30-point triple-double. While triple-doubles were not as impressive back then because people didn't put too much importance on that stat, it was still incredible for the first and only player at that time to put up those numbers without winning the MVP. But the biggest travesty was that Wilt Chamberlain didn't win the award. This guy averaged over 50 points and nearly 26 rebounds a game. No other player in league history has ever even averaged 40 points. Wilt was simply a beast, even scoring 100 points in one game that season. But for some reason, the MVP went to Bill Russell. He averaged 18.9 points and 23.6 rebounds on a championship Boston Celtics team. Those numbers are by no means bad. In fact, they are incredible, even by today's standards. But when you compare that to a point guard who averaged a triple-double and a giant who put up 50 points a night, you'd wonder why Russell was considered the MVP. Well, it turns out that voters already emphasized the importance of wins back then. With the Celtics winning 60 games compared to the teams of Chamberlain and Robertson, Russell was deemed more valuable than any other superstar in the league. Russell Westbrook in 2017. Speaking of players who averaged a triple-double, people thought that there was only one player who could ever replicate what Oscar Robertson did in 1962. They were thinking of LeBron James because of his size and skill. But not a lot of people thought that a 6'4" athletic point guard named Russell Westbrook was going to do just that. You see, before the 2016-2017 season, everyone already knew Russ could put up triple-doubles because he did that the previous 2 seasons. But he never actually averaged a triple-double before 2017 because he had to share rebounds and ball handling duties with KD. Then, in 2016, KD left to join the Warriors. Fueled by spite and the desire to prove himself, Westbrook went beast mode the entire season, grabbing rebounds left and right and ensuring his teammates were getting good looks from his passes. He even went on to lead the league in scoring while shattering Robertson's record for most triple-doubles in a single season. By the end of the season, he averaged 31.6 points, 10.7 rebounds, and 10.4 assists. No one in more than 50 years had done what he did.
Westbrook sees a seam and takes it.
But while Russ was doing that, his former teammate was also doing something impressive. James Harden of the Houston Rockets was putting up 29.1 points, 8.1 rebounds, and a league-leading 11.2 assists. He didn't average a triple-double, but he was close to it. But what was more important was the fact that the Houston Rockets won 55 games, whereas the OKC Thunder only won 47. It's unheard of for a player on a bottom-tier playoff team to win the MVP because the usual narrative is that the MVP should be on a team belonging to the top 4 teams in the conference. But because Westbrook did something no other player had done in more than 5 decades, the narrative was on his side. He won the MVP over Harden, who would have won the award any other season. But the Beard had his revenge in the playoffs, beating Westbrook and the Thunder in the first round. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in 2025. You may or may not agree with this hot take, but SGA probably didn't deserve the 2025 MVP. We're not dismissing his incredible season and how great he is. It's just that this wasn't really a very convincing MVP win in the eyes of many people. Gilgeous-Alexander, of course, had everything he needed to win the MVP. He led the Thunder to an amazing 68-win record on a team with a third-best offense and the top-rated defense. On top of that, he averaged 32.7 points, 5 rebounds, and 6.4 assists.
They both wrestled each other out of the picture.
Tough shot, SGA!
That win-loss record and those numbers are Jordan-like, because the last time we saw someone winning close to 70 games while putting up 30 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists was when his airness was winning MVPs himself. So, if SGA has the team record and the wins to back up his claim to the award, what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is a big Serbian named Nikola Jokic. Throughout the 2024-25 season, Jokic was the only reason why the up-and-down Nuggets even won 50 games and secured the 4th seed in the West. Facing plenty of injuries and internal problems on his team, the Joker averaged 29.6 points, 12.7 rebounds, and 10.2 assists while shooting 57.6% from the field, 41.7% from the three-point line, and 80% from the foul line.
Gonna heave, and count of it goes. Yes! Nikola Jokic!
Those are numbers you only get from NBA 2K. But Jokic did it that season while looking like the NBA is a day job that he hates. He became only the 3rd player in league history to average a triple-double, and he did that as a center. Big men are supposed to be good scorers and rebounders, but not passers. But the Joker broke conventional rules and averaged a triple-double to prove why he's the best player in the league. Then again, being the best player doesn't mean you're the most valuable player. Under the usual rules for determining the MVP, SGA hits every category because he's one of the top 5 best players in the league on the best regular season team since the 2016 Golden State Warriors. As for Jokic, you can call it voter fatigue as well because he already won 3 MVPs while looking like he didn't even care much about those awards. Still, 29 voters thought he deserved it over SGA, which makes you think that maybe the Joker was more deserving to win the 2025 MVP after all.